Okay guys, welcome. Crazy Bacon Girl has let me go onto her channel to produce one of my regular dishes that I've made several times over the years, and that is a beef bourguignon. Now, a beef bourguignon is basically a French dish, so in it you will find some brandy, which I know is a Filipino delicacy, but here we go. Some brandy, some burgundy wine, some beef and vegetables that will go up to make the beef bourguignon. Now, that sounds very funny, but it's a French dish, so that's why it sounds like a bourguignon. Okay, here we go. Okay guys, here we go. What we've got here for this beef bourguignon is some 2 onions finely sliced, 2 carrots chopped, a sprig of parsley, bay leaf, 10 peppercorns, a clove of garlic crushed, a teaspoon of salt here, and what we've got here is 900 grams of diced beef. And the most important ingredient we've got here is the brandy, which is 2 tablespoons, and then we're going to put a whole bottle of burgundy wine into it. So here we go, let's put it together. Okay, we're ready now to put all the ingredients into the bowl to make the dish. Now we start off with the vegetables, of course. Here goes the carrots and the onions. Whoa, really nice they are. Of course, the smaller things like the parsley, that goes in. Crushed garlic, lovely flavour that will be. Of course, the peppercorns, you can't forget those. 10 of those go in. And some bay leaves. All that goes into the bowl. And then, oh, don't forget the salt, of course. There's 1 teaspoonful of salt. Make it extra tasty. Okay, on top of that, we then put in our 2 tablespoonfuls of brandy. In it goes. And most important, from France, a whole bottle of burgundy. Glug, glug, glug. Seems a waste, but there we go. It's in the dish. Right, that's into there. And the final item, of course, is the most important, is the beef. It's been cut up into nice chunk sizes, and in it goes. Look at that. Fantastic. Once that is mixed up nicely, all the vegetables and beef together, we could be able to marinate that for 2 days in the fridge, so that during that time, of course, you can stir it up a couple of times during that time to make sure everything is nicely marinated. And there we go. Look at that. You wait and see what that looks like later. Fantastic. What we do is we put a bit of cling film over the top. And into the fridge it will go. Fantastic. Here we go then. It's been in the fridge for 24 hours now. So we'll just give it a quick stir to make sure it's all well marinated. We've got the beef, carrots, onions and parsley, and the French alcohol. Yes, give it a good stir, and we need to do this. Let's make sure it's all well and truly covered. Now what we'll do now is put it back into the fridge for another 24 hours. There we go. Okay, good morning guys, here we are again. This has been marinating in the fridge for the past 2 days, and our first job will be to remove all the meat from the marinade and strain it to a strain so that it's as dry as possible. Now this is a bit awkward, but it takes a little while, but we get there in the end. Okay, looks like that's the last piece of meat out of the mixture. Now the next job is to strain the vegetables from the marinade. We do this in another bowl in the sieve over here, like so. Put it all in. The odd bit of meat still lying around, that's good. So that's the onions and carrots and the bay leaf and the parsley, all strained to get the marinade out. Okay, next we heat a couple of tablespoonfuls of oil in the casserole dish that we're going to use. Okay, once the oil's heating up nicely in the saucepan, now we take some of our drained meat, and we have to make sure to do this in batches because there's not enough room in one pan to fry the beef. So first off we take an amount out onto kitchen paper and making sure that it's as dry as possible before putting it into the pan to fry. Here we go, first few pieces. Now stir it and let it brown, and once it's brown we'll take it out and put into a bowl to wait until we've fried the rest of the beef. Okay, I think that's nicely browned now. We'll transfer that into another bowl for the time being, and then we'll put some more beef into the pan to fry off. Okay, this is the last batch of the beef that we've fried. We shall remove from the pan with a slotted spoon. The pan is getting some nice hardened on juicy bits which will be soaked up later. Next step is to add in 110 grams of bacon chopped into small pieces. And we saute this until it's slightly brown. Okay, we've sauteed the bacon, so we're now going to remove that and put it in with the beef. Okay, the carrot and the onion we separated earlier, we're now going to fry for a few minutes just to soften them up. We also add in a couple more of chopped onions. And we just saute them for a few minutes till they're softened. Okay, looks like the veg is nicely tender now, or softened at least. Now we're going to transfer all of this into the beef mixture that's waiting here in the standby bowl. Okay, once the vegetables are removed from the pan, we've put a little oil in. We've got 3 tablespoonfuls of plain flour, which we're going to pop in and trying to make a roux from it. Put it in the oil and stir it for a couple of minutes until it's cooked. It will go into a lumpy consistency, as you can see, all lumpy, but we have to cook it out, otherwise it will be floury. Needs cooking. You think it might be a disaster, but it's not yet. Wait and see. Okay, cook that for another minute. And then we add in some tomato puree. Did you see that? Some crushed garlic. $300 beef stock. Stir that up until it's starting to nicely mix, and then add in the reserved marinade. Okay, now we shall heat this up until it's boiling, and you'll see it will get thicker. Okay, the sauce is now boiling and it's thickened up nicely, so it's time to add in all the rest of the ingredients that we've previously made, and here they are. Vegetables, beef, all go in together, and once it's in, we'll give it a good stir up to mix it up, so we get everything all nicely mixed together. And once that is done, we put it into the oven. Okay, now we've already preheated the oven to gas mark 2. Open the door first, lift up the casserole, place it into the oven, don't cover it, leave the cover off, close the door. Now if you study that for 3 hours, if it needs more water, you can put more.
Eternity later.
Okay, 10 minutes before the main part is is finished, while the potatoes are boiling here, we're going to put on, oh, wrong one, that one, this one. Put on the 4 tablespoonfuls of butter, to which we're going to add the mushrooms. We'll wait until the butter is melted first, and then we'll add. Okay, the butter is now starting to fizz and pop, so we can add in the 450 grams of mushrooms that we've chopped into quarters. In it goes, and now we saute that until the mushrooms are slightly browned and ready to add to the bourguignon. Okay guys, a lot of moisture in these mushrooms, but there's no problem. They've sauteed down now until they're nice and ready to go into the main dish. So they're ready. What we're going to do now is take the main dish from the oven. There we go. And stir in the mushrooms. And that is your beef bourguignon, which will sit for 15 minutes before serving. Excellent. Okay, these are our boiled potatoes that we're going to make mash out of. As you can see, they're quite nicely boiled and are ready to take something that will make them to a nice mash. We'll put a little drop of milk in to start with, and then a good spoonful of butter. Hopefully it will come off my spoon. There we go. That'll be for the start, and then we give it a dollop of salt, and then use this masher to mash it down. Some people, they don't like lumps in their mashed potato. They get very upset. But other people, they don't mind a bit of lumpy mash. Yeah, we shall try to make something that's agreeable to everybody. Okay. I've mashed that now for a while, and let's just check it to see what it's like. It's not too bad. I think I could put some more butter in, make it more of a creamy taste, and slightly bit more salt. And then mash that up. That'll be perfect.